All right. So I'm going to go ahead and start. I am Jen, and I run the blog Generalistic. So welcome to this presentation, Living with Autoimmune Disease and 4 Steps Towards Healing. Please go ahead, type in your name in the chat box and let me know where you're from. Currently, though, with my setup, I have my presentation full screen, so I can't see the chat box. But I am going to try and answer the questions at the end. So go ahead, any questions you have, put them in the box. And if you want to follow up with me, I do have some sessions that you can book. So look for the button below this presentation. There's spots available. If they get full up, I can add in some more. And be sure to stay to the end of the presentation. And you can see I've got a free workbook and a free ebook to let you guys have. So just a quick disclaimer, I am not a doctor, so this information is for educational purposes only. This is kind of my journey and what I have been doing to help with my autoimmune disease. So just a bit about me. I am Jen, obviously. And I had my dad get diagnosed with cancer. I had my son diagnosed with Hashimoto's. And this is all within a 3-year period. I also was diagnosed with eosinophilic esophagitis. And that has been about 12 years now that I was diagnosed. It took a little bit while to get my diagnosis, which a lot of people with autoimmune disease probably have the same kind of story. I kind of went to doctor, and they weren't quite sure what to do with me. I had a lot of colds and allergies. I was like sick all the time, especially during winter. All winter long, I usually had a cold. A lot of the medications that we had given me were not working. I was on Parlisec. They had given me an EpiPen. Luckily, I never needed to use it. So, but I was not getting any better. And so I knew there was something more that I had to do to get over this because I didn't want to live my life this way anymore. So I started looking into natural methods. And if you are here, you might actually be doing the same thing. So the good news is I was able to get off all the meds, mostly because they really didn't help me to begin with. But I have a lot of my energy back. I had such low energy. This is kind of embarrassing to say, but one time when we were camping, I had no energy. I couldn't do the dishes. I stuck them all in a bucket and I brought them home to put in the dishwasher. It was really bad. I had no energy for my kids. At the time I had like a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old, and one of them has special needs. So it took all of my energy just to get out of bed, just to help those guys. So I'm very happy to say I've gained a lot of my energy back, obviously, because I'm doing presentations now. That's nothing that I would never have been able to do that before. And I have my job back. I did not, for a while there, I was pretty much out of work. So definitely, I don't want to ever go back to that position again. And I want to help anybody who is struggling with that same low energy, brain fog, all that stuff. I want to help them to get to the space where I am. So if you're struggling with that, I'm hoping that you can learn something from this presentation and that you will be able to get some of your old self back too. So if you can, let me know who's here living with an autoimmune disease, who has a loved one with autoimmune disease. So obviously I have one. My son has Hashimoto's, so there's 2 of us in the household. So that's always lots of fun. But I'm glad that what I'm learning to help me can help my son, and vice versa. Whatever can help my son sometimes helps me. So it's a little bit helpful having somebody else in the household with the same issues. I know at first my family didn't want to eat what I was making, but eventually they came around. So, which is a good thing because I got tired of making 3 different dinners at one night. But yeah, so it's always great if you have somebody that's doing it along with you and that can help you. So if you are experiencing autoimmune disease, you are definitely not alone. It is an epidemic, and according to the AARDA, there are currently 50 million Americans living with some sort of autoimmune disorder. And that is almost 1 in 6 people living in the US. So Hashimoto's affects 5 people out of 100. About 500,000 people in the US have Crohn's disease. And kids are 5 times more likely to have celiac disease today than those born in the 1950s. So it is definitely something that is growing. In my case, EOE, the disease that I have, In 1980, there were only 2 cases that were listed. And today it is 1 in 2,000 that have this disease. So autoimmune is growing very fast, and it's becoming an epidemic, basically. So we really, really need to address this. So starting with the basics, what is it? Basically, it's a condition that your immune system starts attacking itself. It causes inflammatory response. And today there are over 100 different autoimmune diseases. So it depends on who you're talking to about that, because in some cases they're considered autoimmune, some are not. So right now in the EOE world, there's kind of controversy on if EOE is actually autoimmune disease or if it's something else. So, but it is definitely something that is growing. So a lot of times people do go from doctor to doctor with unexplained symptoms for 5 to 10 years before they discover that what they actually have is an autoimmune disease. So has that happened to anyone here? I know it was me, so it took a little while for them to figure out exactly what was my issue. So the key to healing any disease process is to get to the underlying cause. So that is one of the things that I think a lot of times modern medicine misses these days, is they don't actually look for a cause. They just look for a quick fix. So it can actually be more than one cause. And sometimes it's called a perfect storm, where there's 2 or 3 things going on, and the last stressor can actually set you off. And for a lot of people, that is stress. So a big factor is our standard American diet, our SAD diet. So 70% of our immune system is in our gut, and true healing has to start there. Our American diet is really not gut friendly. And that is one of the things that causes a lot of these autoimmune diseases. So stress, obviously stress is a huge cause in a lot of disease. So a lot of time, this can be the last part of the puzzle that kind of tips you over, part of that perfect storm. So if you looked at the statistics on stress and autoimmune disease, it can be mind-blowing, the correlation between the two. So, and right now, I mean, who is not stressed right now? It is like one of the most stressful times in at least my lifetime. So, and the other thing is toxins. So toxins are a major issue to a lot of diseases, things like cancers. So we know that 95% of cancer is caused by accumulation of toxins, and the toxins affect our immune system. So those definitely are a lot of the causes. There probably are a lot more, but these, I believe, are the main ones. So who wants to heal their bodies? So, give me a yes, give me a heck yeah in the chat. And I'm going to go through basically the 4 steps that I went through to heal myself. Again, this is my journey. Your journey might look a little bit different. Every person reacts differently, so you just need to remember that. But these are the 4 steps that are really, really great to try. So step number 1 was diet. So I know half of you probably just rolled your eyes when I said this, but if you're not addressing the foods in your diet, you are not going to heal. So remember, 70% of our immune system is in our gut. So what we need to do is remove gluten, dairy, and soy products. Usually we find these in autoimmune diseases that we have destroyed our enzymes, and it's hard for our systems to break down these long chain proteins. Therefore, removing this from your diet is critical. So definitely, I know when I first started my diet, I tried to still keep gluten in there, and because I love bread, but I definitely discovered that when I removed the gluten, it was a huge game changer. So gluten and dairy almost always are a huge game changer for people. And definitely, I know it's hard to do at first, but just keep at it a little bit at a time. So we also need to remove hydrogenated oils like canola oil. It's not a good fat, and it's terrible for your digestive tract. So, and sugar causes inflammation in the body, and we are going to have a better response if we remove or at least dramatically reduce the amount of sugar. And don't change to aspartame. Aspartame is not any better. This was actually created as a pesticide, and some countries have actually banned aspartame. So I would not switch to that. You could do like a really good stevia, not the crappy stevia. There is a good one and a crappy one. So I got to make sure that you go with something that is still good. And sugar is also, it feeds yeast. So many of you know that in autoimmune disease, you usually have a little bit of a yeast problem too. So you definitely want to get rid of as much sugar as you can. Luckily today, there is quite a few alternatives that are still healthy that you can use. So the other thing is preservatives. We really want to remove MSG. Definitely want to get rid of that. I also want to get rid of artificial dye. So this one was a kind of a shocker to me. I didn't know that this could be so harmful. But I know one of my friends, her child was, drinking the Pedialyte or just, all the kids' foods. They have coloring in them and everything. Well, he was highly allergic to dye. It was red dye. So just by removing that, a lot of his skin issues cleared up. And it's amazing that, our bodies were not really made to digest these type of things. So when we take them out of our diet, we just work so much better. So again, do as much as you can. I know sometimes it's hard to avoid all these, but if you can avoid them for most of the time, it will definitely improve your body. All right, I'm just let me check. Let me see. I hope we are still going good. Yes. All right. Cool. All right, let's keep going. Let me get back to the presentation. I'm going to try and screw up. Oh, wow. 30 years to find out Judy's health problems. Wow. Yeah. All right. I'll go look at all those at the end. All right. So let's go back. So now I know in the previous list could be a little overwhelming of what you have to get rid of. I've been there. Trust me. Again, take a look at your current diet. One of the things that did help me was keeping a food journal and just look and see what you can remove. Even if it's just one or two things a week, just kind of generally get them out of your diet. It's really, really going to help. If you try and go cold turkey, it's going to be extremely hard and you're going to give up. But if you can get rid of the bad stuff a little bit at a time, you're going to have a much, much better chance of switching over to a better diet. So for me, when I first found out I had EOE, they told me I was allergic to 28 different foods. So it was extremely hard for me to navigate at first. And I tried to quit everything cold turkey and I got frustrated and I went back to eating all the bad stuff. But then I got sick again. So I'm like, okay, we just have to figure this out. And I did it little by little. And I think it's, there's a saying, like, if you do it for 28 days, it becomes a habit. So it is if you can keep doing it little by little, it becomes a habit and it becomes your new lifestyle. So you don't even realize your old ways anymore. So what you want to add in is protein. Eat clean source protein, grass-fed, no antibodies. We end up eating what our food eats. And this, I have a great story about how true this is. So one of the things I came up in my allergy testing was I was allergic to eggs. So eggs, I just couldn't eat them. But I also had a fascination with chickens and I really wanted to get chickens. So I have 6 chickens in my backyard, but I feed my chickens organic, no soy, no corn, no wheat food. And by doing that, I could eat eggs again because I could eat their eggs. So I never really realized how much that really matters until I got my own chickens and started making, well, not me making my own eggs, but they made the old eggs. And I couldn't believe how much of a difference it makes. And well, they also taste much better too. So I would advise getting chickens if you can. They're really great. So the other thing is add in plant-based milk. So we are actually the only species that drinks the milk of another species. I found, just regular dairy, I can't do cow's dairy, but plant-based milk was fine with me. So again, look for the better brands, look for the ones without carrageen in them. That's also another thing that's getting better. When I was first diagnosed, it was so hard to find some that didn't have carrageen in it, but now it's getting a little better because a lot of them are removing it. So that's awesome. So you want to do fruits with enzymes. You want papaya, pineapple, kiwi, figs, but you do want to make sure they're in moderation. Do just 1 or 2 daily because, again, you don't want to have too much sugar. So even though it's good sugar, it's still sugar. So you don't want to get too much of it. And then switching to cooked vegetables. Cooked vegetables are easier for your body to digest. So again, we're probably low on enzymes. Our digestive system is just not working like it should. So let's make it a little bit easier for it to digest those vegetables. So if you cook or steam them just a little bit, it's much better for your system. Bone broth. So bone broth provides amino acids. It's great in soups. You can make your own, or there actually are a ton of products out there that are pre-made. People look at me funny, but I make my coffee and I put bone broth in it. I can't really taste the difference. And I use the, it's a powder form, so it doesn't really have a lot of taste to it, but that's how I get a little bit extra into my system. And, you know, again, people look at me funny when I say bone broth with my coffee, but it works. It works for me. So the other thing is healthy fats. You want to get coconut oils, avocado, raw nuts and seeds, herbs. Herbs are great. Turmeric, cumin, gingers. A lot of these have antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. So herbs are great for you. Whenever you can, cook from scratch. Stay away from the meals in the box, so the frozen dinners. I know it's easier said than done, but again, once you start doing it, more and more, it becomes your lifestyle, and you don't realize how much you used to cook out of a box. I mean, I used to be the, with the meals in the box, I totally forgot the little hamburger helper. I used to be a hamburger helper junkie all the time, but you know, there's so many preservatives and other crap in there. And I think, you know, a lot, when I went gluten-free, I had to give those up too. So again, do as much as you can from scratch. It's getting a little bit better out there for some actual foods. So there's a company that I use, and in my little note PDF that's written down below, I put a link to them. But they do have some really nice freezer meals and plans, and some fresh meal plans that are top 8 allergen free. And right now, you're probably in the best place. Take a look at the exhibitors in the in this festival, because I'm sure that I know there are a ton of really good ones. Some of them have been giving me samples and they're so good. So take a look around. That is definitely something that has improved a lot since I started on this journey. So it's a little bit easier than it used to be. But, you know, Pinterest was my friend too. I used to find a bunch of different recipes and stuff on there. So just take a look around. It takes a little bit more to be organized and to order the food that you need and plan. But if you meal plan, it actually in the long run will save you a lot of stress, and it saves you a lot of time. Because if you know at the beginning of the week what your meals are going to be, you can purchase everything you need, and then it's ready to go when you go to cook it. If you're like me, you go to cook dinner and you're like, what am I gonna make? And you sit and stare at the freezer, and then you got your family yelling, I don't want that. No, we're not gonna cook that. So it's just easier if it's all planned out and you just know what you're gonna do. So also be aware, just because it's gluten-free, dairy-free does not mean it's a healthy choice. You really have to look at the ingredients. Again, there's a lot of improvements been made over the years, but I wish a lot of these gluten-free companies would put better ingredients in their product. There's maybe half and half now. I would say over the last couple of years, it's been a big improvement of doing organic, clean ingredients versus when they all first came out, they were like junky and crap. But again, make sure you know what you're eating. Look at those ingredients. All right, so step 2, avoid toxins. So this first one, it kind of goes with the food, but it's a toxin. So you want to avoid the toxins of your food. Whenever you can, try and eat organic whenever possible, but I know it can get expensive. So a great money saving tip is to go over to EWG's site, and every year they put out a dirty and a clean list. So the dirty 12 are the ones that you definitely want to purchase as organic. The clean 15, you can probably purchase as conventional because there's not a lot of pesticides or chemicals on it. So again, it's just a way to kind of save money. But like if those dirty 12 that list, if I'm at the supermarket and they don't have the organic version of that, I just don't buy it, because you're introducing more toxins, more pesticides, and again, it's just destroying your gut. So, and please note, these do change every year. So they just base it on what the farmers are doing for that year. So you just have to go and look them up every year. So, but they do provide this, and you can find them free, and you can probably search Pinterest, and they're always all over there. So it's always a great thing to have. So not only do we have toxins in our food, but we also have toxins in our environments. So it's getting to be the holidays. So here's a candle junkie. I used to be, I really did. But candles are one of the worst things that you can have in your house. Most candles, there are some that are soy and that are food grade soy and that have a lead-free wick. And they also use essential oils for their fragrance and not a chemical fragrance. So you have to watch out for that. You have to watch out for that word fragrance. That word fragrance can have up to 300 different chemicals in it. And they don't have to list that on the box or the packaging because it's proprietary information. So, but almost all of those chemicals that go in that word fragrance are cancer causing chemicals or it's just bad toxins in it. So you definitely want to stay away from the word fragrance. And again, just you have to look at the packaging. You have to look at what you're bringing in your house. Look through your cleaning products. Again, do they have the word fragrance in it? Do we really need fragrance when we clean? So just take a look at that. What other chemicals are in those cleaners? So one of the things that people don't actually realize too is that when you use that floor cleaner and you clean your floor and your pets walk across that floor, they're sucking up all of those toxins through their paws. Their paws are like our feet. It sucks everything in. So again, it's not even just us. Our pets are getting sicker too. So the other thing is laundry products. Our skin is our largest organ, and what we put on our skin gets soaked into our bloodstream within 26 seconds. And we can also pass these to our unborn children. So again, EWG did a study where they found flame retardants, parabens, and all kinds of different toxins in the umbilical cord of a newborn. So, and these are newborns, and the only way they could have gotten that is from their mother. So again, laundry products are probably one of the more toxic ones too. And we have to be aware of what we're bringing in our house and what we're putting in our bodies. Same thing with all your beauty products. And this is a presentation I do on its own too. So, and I also have a course. So in my show notes, I have a coupon code for, I have a mini course that just goes through your whole house to help you get rid of the toxins. So I like to kind of put it as our bodies are like buckets. And so our bodies are made to get rid of toxins, but at a certain rate. So if we take in a little bit, they can get rid of it. But if we keep taking it in, taking it in, and taking it in, we can't get rid of it fast enough. And that's when disease happens. And that's when our systems start shutting down. So if we bring in less, our systems can work better. So especially since, if you have an autoimmune disease, you definitely want to bring in, I want to do 0. I'll tell you, there's 2 products in my house that are still toxic. And it's just because I can't find a solution for them. But as soon as I do, they're gone, out the door. So the other thing, step 3, is supplements. So supplements, there are a ton of them out there. Again, you have to know what you're getting into, and it can be overwhelming. So let's talk about the basics that are needed for supporting a system with autoimmune. So even if you're eating healthy, you still need to have some supplements because a lot of our soil is depleted, and a lot of the ways our food is made, it just destroys our guts. And, most of the time I do eat clean. I eat as clean as I can, but you know what? I still want to go out to eat. I still, there's weeks where I'm just too busy and it's just not happening. So I take a lot of supplements. So you want to make sure that you are picking the cleanest product, and don't be getting your supplements from a discount store. Just don't do it. Supplements are a billion-dollar industry, and there is little to no oversight on the quality that goes in them. So nobody is watching the supplement company, and you want to make sure you get the cleanest and the highest quality you can find. After all, these are not cheap most of the time. You want to make sure that the money you're spending is actually helping your body and not just getting flushed right out. So some of these things here on my list are from Young Living. That is just a brand that I trust and I like them. Design for Health, that's another one that I do like. Again, there are a ton of them out there, but research the company. And I'm sure there's probably actually a couple of supplement companies in this online festival also. But research the company, see how they do with their product and how they farm these stuff, where they get their ingredients from. It's really important. All right, so the first thing on here is glycine or glutamine, which are supporting the guts. So enzymes. Enzymes are critical. If there's only one thing that you pick from this list, pick enzymes. So it's important not only for our digestive health, but it's also for breaking down our hormones and helping our hormones to work correctly. So foods with preservatives and just over time, our enzymes get depleted. So you definitely need to build them back up. So probiotics. So a good bacteria of the gut is your probiotic. And again, these have probably been destroyed with leaky guts. And if you are dealing with autoimmune disease, there is a 70 to 80% chance you also have leaky gut. So you want something that's got 9 to 17 billion organisms in it, or not organisms in it. Whoops, sorry there. You want to make sure it's non-dairy, and it should also be soil-based, SBO. So definitely want to get a good probiotic. Again, look at the number of organisms. That number is gonna change a lot through them. So glutathione support. So this one is an antioxidant that is in our body, and it's created by our body, and it's responsible for taking out viruses, toxins, and bacteria. So basically, it's our immune system. So statistics show that those with autoimmune disease also have low glutathione. So it's really important to support this system. And you know what, right now too, I do a lot of support with the glutathione, because right now what's going on with the world, you definitely want a very strong immune system. So that is going to help you. So the other thing is omegas. So omegas are known to help the inflammatory response. And again, a lot of diseases from inflammation is inflammatory. So you want to get the good healthy fats that you need. And omegas are a great way to do that. So immune power is, it's actually an essential oil blend. So that one is really good for supporting the immune system. So these supplements help your body heal. So that's what the purpose is to boost your body so it can work better. So it's definitely a great thing to do. I cannot say enough of it. You definitely need to have supplements if you're going to want to heal yourself. So step 4. So remember before we said stress was sometimes one of the tipping points. It is so crucial to try and balance out your life so that you are not stressed. So this one I've been doing really, really well with until this year. So I actually pretty much had I don't want to call it a relapse, but a few weeks ago, and I just, the stress got to me. You also noticed my blog, I haven't done a whole lot because I had to cut something out. Between everybody being home, I can't get my work done. Everything that's going on in the world is just stressing me out. And then, trying to homeschool a special needs child. So if anyone else out there is homeschooling a special needs child, kudos to you, because that is one of the hardest things that I think I have tried to do, especially while trying to work at the same time. So this is one of the things I 2 to 3 weeks ago, I kind of got really sick, and I went, oh my gosh, this is the stress. So I started back at the beginning again. So this is something that you always have to work on. So ever so often I get a relapse, and I go, oh yeah, this is what it feels like when I don't take care of myself. So then it puts it back in my forefront and say, okay, I have to start taking care of myself again. And I guess as moms too, it's a hard thing to do because you're so used to trying to take care of your kids and take care of everything else, and you put yourself last. And when you have autoimmune disease, you can't do that because you just suffer even more. So definitely take a little bit of time out for yourself, heal yourself, and don't be like me. Don't forget. Make sure you can do it. So some of the methods you can use for reducing stress is meditation, prayer, Reiki. Reiki, I think that's how you say it. Planning. For me, a big thing is planning. If I can plan, it reduces my stress so much better. Every night now I got in the habit, I take out my calendar, I plan out my day. I used to do it on a paper planner, but now I just do it on my computer, and I just time block everything. So I know exactly what I'm doing during the day, and I know exactly when I get done. So that helps me tremendously with just getting stuff done and the stress, because I know if anyone else is like me and you've got this big list above your head and you're like, I can't get it done, I can't get it done, it just adds more stress. But if you plan it out and say, these are the 3 things I'm doing, you get them done, so much better. Same with organizing. My office sometimes gets to be the dump zone, and I can tell, like, when I have so much stuff in here that's not clean and organized, if I can feel it weighing on me. So if I clean it out and organize it again, it lightens me up. So I don't know. Again, it depends on you. You know, some things you might find stress releasing, some may be too stressful, but you just have to figure out your balance. So deep breathing. This is another one that surprised me. I had gotten the Apple Watch about 2 years ago, and it's got that little breathe app. And I'm like, this is the stupidest thing ever. But I started doing it, and then it really, really helps. If you take a minute and you just do deep breathing, again, it reduces the toxins in your body. When you deep in breathe and you breathe out everything, you're getting rid of some of the toxins and getting rid of some of the stuff in your body. And it actually does really help. So that's a super simple thing that you can try and do just 1 or 2 times a day. Just take a minute and just deep breathe. And then you'll be amazed at how much that little thing can make a big difference. Another thing, Epsom salt baths, you know, another reason to go, you know, take care of yourself, take 20 minutes out, relax. Epsom salt is a great way to detoxify yourself. And if you notice, toxins and stress also have a huge correlation. So if you get rid of those toxins, sometimes you can get rid of stress too. So infrared sauna is another one. Go see your chiropractor. Yoga is something that I don't do traditional yoga. I do more stretching out. So one of the things I've noticed is that with autoimmune disease, a lot of times you also have adrenal fatigue. And for me, going out and doing 40 minutes of hard cardio was making me more tired and tiring me out more. I find it better for me if I just do 15, 20 minutes of stretching or yoga or some low impact exercise. So again, it depends on your body. It depends on you. I'm not sure why that is for me, but it's one of the things I found out. Another thing I found was essential oils. Again, I thought they always smelled good. Never thought they could actually do stress. But essential oils are the lifeblood of the plant, and their molecular structure is almost identical to ours. So just by putting some, either doing aromatherapy or putting them on you, again, it helps. So some of them to try are Stress Away, lavender, these, frankincense, or myrrh, and immune power. Again, that's one that is really good for your immune system. So, but the one thing is not all oils are created the same. So make sure you get a good quality oil, because if you go buy the oils from Target or Michael's, a lot of those have fragrance in them, or they have fillers in them. They're not pure essential oils. So again, you'll be adding more toxins in if you do that. Make sure you get really, really good oils. So which road are you going to choose? This is a hard decision. It is. Or you can kind of, meander about both of them. There are so many options, and it is up to you. The natural path is not always the easiest one to do, and it takes time, but in the long run, your body is going to thank you. So you got to be an advocate of your own health. You have to do your own research. I encourage you. When I first was diagnosed, I spent so many nights with my little glass of wine and just searching everything. So you are also going to find there is a yin to the yang of everything, and you have to just read through it and search in your heart and go, I think this is the one that's better for me. Because again, there is no right answer for one person or the other. It really depends on your body. It depends on your lifestyle. So you kind of have to mix and match and figure out what works for you. So this presentation was really made to get you to start thinking. And for me, the path I wanted off the medications. I didn't want to be dependent on them. And I wanted long-term healing. So this is why I've chosen this path. I don't like the pill popping lifestyle. I want to be able to just live on my own and have the energy and all that stuff. So again, the solutions, you got to work on your diet, work on removing those toxins, add in supplements, and remove that stress. So I do have some freebies and some gifts. So that PDF should be down below. It's just one PDF, but I kind of stuffed everything in it. So it has links to the stuff that I mentioned. It's got a link to my Ditch the Toxins worksheet. So it's a nice 4-page little worksheet, totally free, to help you go through your house and rate the items that you're using and kind of help you identify what items you need to take out of your house and what you should replace them. There's also an ebook in there about managing autoimmune disease naturally. So basically a larger version of this presentation. And there's also a coupon in there to my course. I have a Ditch the Toxins video course. So that's in there too. So, all right. So who has some questions? I don't know. I think I still got 15, 20 minutes left. I think I gotta stop sharing. All right. So let me see here. I have to scroll all the way back. Sorry, guys. I couldn't see any of the chat while I was talking. All right. Ooh, we have Vegas, Florida, and Wisconsin. So this is kind of fun because I've gone to the one that is Chicagoland one. It's always in Schaumburg every year, and it's neat to go there and see. But this version is kind of cool too because now we get to see people from all over the whole country. So, Kaida, I think they said that right, Kida. So, how have this helped your son? Same thing. I did a lot of the same things with my son because he has Hashimoto's. And so we changed his diet. He's got wheat and soy and dairy are gone. I've added in a lot of the supplements. We actually added in some new supplements. I just met with another doctor. So this is another thing, guys, too. If the medication you're on is not working and the doctor is reluctant to change, go to a different doctor. And so that's what we did with my son. He's on a different type of thyroid medication, and it'll be very interesting. I have to take him next week for another blood test to see how he does. So yeah, that's a lot of stuff he does. I also every night I have changed his. I do the aromatherapy in his room. So it's helped him a lot. He used to be so like sluggish all the time. So whenever we'd go to like a fair or something, we only had 20, 30 minutes tops, and he would be flopping on the floor and we couldn't go anywhere. So about 2 years ago, we went to a fair. We walked around almost the entire day and he was fine. And so it is just amazing how much energy he has gotten back by changing. Most of that was changing his diet. So, a diet is huge. Okay, so, pretty much that screen of the supplements, a lot of those are great ones to try. So can you still get off medication if you have taken Lodone? That, Vess, I don't want to say yes or no. I am not a doctor. I can tell you with my son, he was up to 200 milligrams of levothyroxine, and we got him down. Now he's only taking, we switched it to the other one, and he's on 60. So again, it's, it depends on your body. It depends on how you work everything out. But I'm not a doctor. So, and make sure you get with your doctor. This whole journey, I've always been with the doctor, and we always take the blood test to measure his levels. So make sure that you keep on with that. So Judy, thanks for your time. Yes, Judy, definitely do. Diet, I think, is huge. Diet, I think, is first. That's the best thing that you can do. And then the second thing is the supplements. So if you don't change your diet, it's going, like, our diet is huge for us because it is just feeding us. So if we don't change our diet, it's not going to, if we still keep feeding in crap to our body, it's not going to be able to heal. So you got to feed in good stuff. So yeah, diet I think is a huge thing that you have to do. Sorry, I have to keep scrolling up because it keeps popping up every time a new one comes. But if I did miss a question and you want to just either email me, or I do have some times that we can meet together. Yeah, a lot of Hashimoto's. Hashimoto's, I think, is growing. Oh, and Lyme disease. Lyme disease is another one that's growing a lot too. Oh, wow. 30 years to diagnose celiac. Yeah. It's amazing how long, even with modern medicine, how long it takes to sometimes get diagnosed. Yeah, Ivy. Yes, please, for healing. Yes, definitely heal. And I can say this, I've been doing this for 12 years, changing my lifestyle. And it is amazing how much better I feel. I have that brain fog. I still get it from time to time, but it's definitely much better than it used to be. So Ruth, yeah, definitely. Soy is bad. Stay away from sugar too. Sugar is really bad for anything with cancer. I figured that out with my dad. Anything inflammatory, that definitely you need to stay away from. Oh, oh, how do you say your name? Philomena? So you're calling me out, huh? The 2 toxic products. Okay, I'll tell you. So one of them is my dishwasher soap. We're on well water, and I have not found anything yet that will cut through my well water because I have really, really bad water. And the other thing is my hairspray. I can't get rid of it. So those are the 2 things I do have to get rid of still. I'm sure there's probably a few more that I don't use every day, but so Sarah, I still get several of my supplements from holistic health doctors. Yes, who have helped me. How can I know their medical grade supplements are superior to the ones you find online? So Sarah, you have to look into the companies. It's kind of hard. It takes a little bit of time. But it is one of the things that I have found out is you have to do that with all your products. You have to know the company they're coming from. So that is one of the reasons I do choose Young Living for a lot of stuff, because I do trust them and they carry a lot of natural products. 100% Pure is another one that they do a lot of makeups. So you really have to get to know the companies. And as sad as it is, that's kind of how our world has come to, just because of manufacturing. People are trying to make money versus making a quality product. So you have to look into the company to see what their methods are and what they do. So Judy, Katie uses baking soda for washing clothes or for washing dishes. I do have a homemade laundry soap that I make that has baking soda in it. Okay, I guess there's no more questions. I don't think I see any, but I could be missing them. Again, if I'm missing them, sorry. But you guys, thank you so much for attending. Please, follow me, stalk me. I do have a Facebook group, so where we talk all kinds of natural lifestyle changes. And again, it's changing everything little by little. So definitely connect with me there. I've got my blog, so check out the website. Again, down below this presentation, there is a PDF that has links to pretty much everything I talked about, and then that free ebook and that free worksheet. So, all right, guys, I am going to go check out some of the other presentations now. I'm really excited. So I'm glad this is another benefit of it being online, is that, when I go to the ones in persons, I only get to see 2 or 3 presentations, but now I can watch all of them. So I hope you guys have a really great rest of your festival. And again, if you need to talk, just go ahead and schedule an appointment or email me. All right. See you later.